What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back to the channel. Today, I want to pick up on our discussion that we had the last time about options. Now, the last time we discussed call options, which are contracts that give you the right but not the obligation to buy 100 shares of stock at a specified price before a specific date that it expires. We also mentioned that all contracts that have expiration dates all expire on the third Friday of the month that the contract is in. And as you can see, using the Thinkorswim platform, they give you in parentheses how many days your contracts have before they expire. We also talked about how each contract that you buy or sell represents 100 shares of stock. So if we were to buy a contract in November at the 100 strike, this says that it would cost you $3.60. Now, knowing that all option contracts are for 100 shares of stock, that means you would multiply this 360 times 100, which would give you $360. That's how much that contract would be. So if call contracts are the right to buy 100 shares of stocks, then put contracts are the right to sell 100 shares of stock at a specified price before a specific date on the third Friday of that month. So what I'm going to do is give you an example of why you would buy a put contract. So let's say you owned 100 shares of a stock and you wanted to protect your gains because you felt as though after the stock ran up in price that it would probably drop in price. So what you could do in this example, the stock is $121 a share. So I'm going to go to the think back on this date, and on this date, the stock ended at $119.24. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the December with 107 days left, since this would have been in September. And I'm going to look at, since the stock was 119, I'm going to look at the closest to the 30 delta, which would have been the 105 strike. And I'm going to place an order to buy this. We're going to change this to one contract. So to protect yourself on the downside, if you own 100 shares of stock at 119, you could buy the 105 strike. What this would do is this would give you the right to make somebody buy your stock from you at 105, just in case the stock dropped below that price. So basically what you're doing is buying insurance so that if your stock drops, you'll make extra money off of a contract that you bought. So in this example, you would have paid $755 to protect yourself on the downside if your stock dropped below $105 a share. Now, because I know this stock, I know that on October the 7th, this stock dropped. So what we're going to do is we're going to look and see how much our option contract would have made when the stock dropped on October the 7th. And keep in mind, we would have paid $755 for this contract. So I'm going to go to October the 7th. The stock went from 119 to 86. Now remember, we purchased insurance just in case the stock dropped below 105. And we bought the 105 strike for $755. So let's see what the 105 strike put contract is worth now on October the 7th. The 105 strike is somewhere between $20.90 and $23.50. So what I'm going to do is change this calendar to October the 7th. And we're going to look and see what the P&L would have been if we would have had this contract. Your P&L would have been $1,465. Now remember, you would have paid $755. So that is a double from what you paid. Now you would have two choices to make. If you owned 100 shares of this stock, you could either keep the stock and sell your contract because you bought the contract, so you own it. So if the contract appreciated in price, you could actually sell your contract and still keep your stock. And mind you, this amount is your profit. That does not include the price that you paid. So if you added $1,465 plus the $755 that you paid, that would be your total amount that you would have in your account for your put that you purchased for $755. So that's just one example of why you would buy a put, is to protect yourself on the downside just in case you owned 100 shares of stock and the stock went down below your strike price. And then you could choose to either sell your put contract for the higher price since you paid a lower price for it and keep your stock, or you could exercise your option, make someone who sold you your contract buy your stock from you at 105, and then you just take the money. Now, personally, I would sell my put contract since it appreciated in value and keep the stock, and then let the stock have a chance to run back up again. But that would be an example of why you would buy a put contract. So let's recap what we've gone over so far. So far, we've talked about call options, which are the right but not the obligation to buy 100 shares of stock at a specified price at a specific date and time, before a specific date and time. Put contracts are the right but not the obligation to sell 100 shares of stock at a specified price at a specific before a specific date and time. So as long as you understand the basics of why you buy calls and puts, it will help you in your trading once you start either using option contracts in conjunction with buying stocks or with buying put contracts and call contracts on their own. And of course, the most advantageous place to buy calls and puts would be in your Roth IRA account, where if you take profits from your trades, you won't have to pay any capital gains taxes on your gains while they're in your account or after you retire at 59 and a half and have your account open at least 5 years. So now I'm going to share with you guys one of the trades that I made myself with a call option. And what I did on October the 7th, I bought one January 2022 call at the 125 strike for $11.68. What that did was it gives me the right to buy 100 shares of ARK Innovation ETF stock at a price of $125 a share on or before January the 21st of 2022. And for that right, I paid $1,168. Now, if we take a look at what the price of the stock was on October the 7th, when I bought this call contract, the price was $97 a share. So it went up $2 more after I bought the contract. And what I was looking at when I bought this call contract was over here in the parentheses with the plus or minus on the Thinkorswim platform. This is the expected move between now and then for this stock price. So based on the supply and demand of the options, they're betting that this price has between a $44.66 price move up or down between now and January the 21st of 2022. So what I did was I took half of this 22 and I added it to the price of the stock and then rounded it up to 125. And that's the reason why I bought the 125 strike. And as you can see now, the high is 1380. And if we take a look right now, it's going for 1340, which means that I'm up $172 since October the 7th. And I still have the rest of October, all of November and December, and then the entire year of 2021 for this price to get up to my 125 strike. Now, of course, if the price of the stock goes up to or past this 125 strike, this will be significantly higher than what this price is right now. I'm guessing that if it gets over 125, this should be somewhere in the range of $30 to $40. Hopefully. But we'll see. And I will be giving updates on this trade and other trades that I make, so you guys can keep up with it. All right, well, that'll do it for today. And I will see you guys on the next recording. As always, if you haven't, hit the subscribe button. And if you've learned anything from this recording, please hit the like button. It helps out with the channel.